Thanks for watching another episode of Real Stats brought to you by me, Angry Old Hoops Fan. I've been mentioning a pattern in my other videos, a pattern showing that when LeBron pads his stats with points, he also registers a negative in the plus-minus column and his team loses. LeBron was a negative 20 in this loss against the Pacers. A negative 20. My God, that's embarrassing. Like, that would be a headline if it was anyone else. He led the Lakers in turnovers. Let me repeat that. He led his team in turnovers. A team with Russell Westbrook. LeBron led the team in turnovers. His shooting percentage was terrible, and he didn't lead in a single category that the league covers as far as leaders go. Not one category did the supposed GOAT appear in. Again, even in the category of points, the topic that the media loves to overhype regarding what LeBron James is accomplishing, he's not even a leader in that category. You see a headline about LeBron scores 30. Well, I've said it before, 30 points doesn't mean anything in today's game. It certainly doesn't mean anything compared to what it did in the past. Let me give you a quick example. LeVert on the other team, the team that just beat LeBron James, scored 30 points. And I dare say that LeVert is not a household name for most of the nation. So how did he score as many points as the GOAT while his team won? The top scorer in the league for that same night scored 50. 20 points more than LeBron scored in the loss. And yet we're hearing about LeBron James's performance. Don't tell me that isn't skewed bullshit. Why does his performance deserve any media coverage at all? Because of the effort he put forth to help his team? That's only true if you allow yourself to be brainwashed by the likes of Shannon Sharp, Jay Will, etc., and all the others who are contractually obligated to say nice things about LeBron James. Let's get back to some stats. Here's the reality of LeBron's performance that night. He shot 40% for three-pointers. Of course, in the highlights, you see the one or two that he made, not the fact that he only shot 40%. For field goals, he was only 50%. Now, 50% isn't the worst thing ever, but it's certainly not GOAT-like, especially when most of those are layups and dunks. One of those layups coming distastefully at the end of the game as the clock was running out. The game was over, and the Pacers didn't even bother to play defense. But that didn't stop LeBron James from padding his stats just a little bit more. Now, if memory serves me, that is not looked on very kindly in the league. In fact, some people have scuffled over this sort of behavior before, but not when LeBron does it. Somehow it's just acceptable, and certainly the media isn't going to talk about it. I'd like to know how someone who has been heralded as the GOAT and has all these years of experience can't be a leader and prevent his team from blowing leads. These aren't just losses. These are blown leads, which shows mental collapse, which shows failure in leadership. Shannon Sharp, as he always does, provides an excuse for LeBron's poor performance in the fourth quarter, saying that he was worn out from having to carry the team for the rest of the game.
But Skip, he's having to expend so much energy in order to keep the team in the ball game or to keep the team close. Come third, fourth quarter, he's worn down.
My God, I've never known a so-called GOAT to require so many excuses. What is this, a charity league? Like, are we just like putting LeBron out on the floor because we feel sorry for him? Despite the poor performance, we're going to go ahead and let him play and then say that it's fine because we have all these excuses for him, like his old age, etc. Poor performance is poor performance. Get him off the floor if he's not doing well. Maybe you'll see the Lakers start to win. But more important than this tendency to provide excuses for LeBron James is the fact that what Shannon Sharp said is just plain not true. LeBron's performance on the court is closer to being lazy than inspiring. If you look at his teammates, they're doing far more work and moving far more than LeBron James. Off the ball, away from the ball, setting screens, getting the tough rebounds, setting LeBron up for his points, his easy dunks, his easy layups, which, by the way, the other team knows that once LeBron's going in for a layup, you can't go anywhere near him. Otherwise, it's a guaranteed whistle. And sometimes it's a whistle anyway, thanks to LeBron's flopping. Take a look at the work Malik Monk put in. I mean, that guy is hustling. That guy is performing well. And his offensive points are actually impressive. They come in the form of artistry, as opposed to LeBron just being bigger than other people. I'm just bigger and the refs will bail me out. And let's look at Tucker. Let's look at Tucker's performance. He had to come off the bench and scored 20 points in only 20 minutes of play, while LeBron scored 30 points in 37 minutes of play. Who performed better? Is Tucker getting headlines? Tucker's field goal percentage was 64% compared to LeBron's 40%. Tucker registered a plus 12, while LeBron was a negative 20. Tucker also had 7 assists. 7 assists in only 20 minutes of play, while LeBron only had 5 assists in 37 minutes of play. I'm sorry, if you play 37 minutes and the offense supposedly goes through you, and you're supposedly carrying the team, and you're supposedly creating opportunities for your teammates because you're so good, how do you only get 5 assists? That's terrible. Imagine yourself out on the court, only getting your teammates 5 assists in an entire game, and then you still get the credit for carrying the team despite registering a negative 20 and shooting 40%. That is not fair. That is not fair. And all this talk about the Lakers being too old. Look, I just talked about Monk and Tucker, and they've got others. They are young with the added bonus of also having the experience of these Lakers who are Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers, All-Stars, and former NBA champions. You have a team full of former NBA champions with experience other teams would die for, mixed in with young talent. What you're missing is a good leader to bring it all together to form a championship. And what really disgusts me is all this talk about, well, they're a bad team. They're just a bad team. They're not a bad team. They're a stacked team. They are a stacked team. They were favored to win it all by some people at the beginning of the season. So how is it that now, after they've performed badly, they're a bad team? No, they're still a stacked team that's performing poorly. And when they finally get their shit together, which I imagine at some point they're going to because they are a stacked team, the narrative, the media hype is going to be, LeBron overcomes. Look what LeBron overcame in order to make it into the playoffs, whatever kind of a playoff run the Lakers end up getting this season. He didn't overcome anything. The team overcame him, maybe. You're a stacked team. Stop acting like LeBron overcomes obstacles when each and every season it's all about giving him everything he wants. Poor LeBron has to overcome being given everything he wants while still getting the benefit of the doubt from the referees in the league while registering negative 20s. Thanks for watching. These are all real stats. I take them from ESPN and NBA.com. It's not like I'm making this stuff up. So, if you have any counter evidence from all you brainwashed LeBron fans, I'd like to see real evidence. Real evidence, not just repeating what the media says, because they have an agenda. And if you appreciate these real stats, subscribe and give me a like. It would be helpful.